Good evening, welcome to Three Fish on the Shirt. Got with me tonight a very special guest, Grimsby's own pro boxer, Levi Giles. Welcome.
Thank you for having us, Dave. I really appreciate it, mate, taking your time on a Sunday night to speak to me.
Yeah, you're more than welcome, and we're proud to have you on as a Grimsby lad, doing well in the pro boxing world. So, but first things first, we've seen you join the ring in your town colours, and you've had quite a few local bouts. So it's clear that the Mariners are at the heart of what where your passion is, and in the town. What do you think?
Most definitely, mate. I mean, I've always been in the black and white colours. A lot of people that know me know I'm quite, very proud of where I come from.
Yeah.
Because it is a good place. We've said off camera and stuff. It is a good place, but it sometimes gets overridden by some stupid things, and they forget about the 10 good things that's happening in the town for that one silly thing that comes about. So it is a great place, and I'm very proud of where I come from.
Even anybody keen to give us a knock to starts with a name, don't they? And sort of Grim, and it's Grim and Fish and smells of fish. And all that.
Definitely.
You get all that, and once you get through that, and you get people here, you do realise how good it is. But I think at times we can always share some of our best a lot more, and I think in getting you on to talk about the Mariners now, and there's a lot in the club at the moment around community and doing a lot of good for the town, and I think that's something that you do as well in your career. So how did you get into following town then? What was your first match? How did you get to there?
Going back now, it's quite a long time ago, to be fair. The first game we went to was me and my mate Kez. Was actually meant to go to a cinema, but I can't 100% remember what happened. But either way, we ended up at the Brundle Park, and we was playing against Barnet at the time. And we won 4-2, and that was the first. I was sat in the pontoon, with the where all the rowdy lot was at the time, the drummer, and and it was a good atmosphere. And I thought, from the first game you go to, you can see why there's lads get so addicted to going every week. And I know a lot of people that work the 9 to 5s, and they're just looking forward to getting to Brundle Park on a Saturday. It's
one of them.
Yeah,
even now.
It's just a buzz. You've been going a lot longer than many people, haven't you, Dave? So
thanks for that. Yeah, cheers.
Absolutely fantastic. Massive supporter, and to stick through what we've been through, mate. It's hats off to you.
Yeah, no, it's okay. So we fast forward to yesterday. Then 1-1 draw against one of the sides close by us in the table. Happy with the point or disappointed?
I would have been, like I say, I would have been happy with a point a few weeks ago. Would have took a point, but I feel like we should be beating teams like that at home. But obviously, there's some positives and there's some negatives, as always, to take away from the games watching Grimsby Town. Like I say, Jordan, he was to have him back playing now, I think, fully fit. I feel like he's going to make a big difference to the team, because he's a hell of a player from what I've seen of him at Wrexham. I've seen his highlights and stuff like that, and watched him for them, and he's a very good player. I feel like he could have a big impact on the team. And then obviously you make Janet and players like that. We need to be keeping them, because he's for me he's unbelievable for Town.
Janet, he's almost like he's not there sometimes, and I've said this a couple of times on the pod that he's that clean and tidy and neat and tidy. You're never having kittens when it comes to him, or you're not frightened he's going to oof it in the air and it's spin backwards. He's just so
good.
Cool.
Tie him down. We need to give him what he needs.
Fully agree with that.
Keep him.
And Jordan Davis actually scored in that Wrexham game, didn't he? Against us. And then next couple of seasons beyond that, he's playing for us, and a great finish yesterday.
Yeah, it was, and like I say, it's good to have him back fully fit, because he was looking very promising, wasn't he, at the beginning? And then obviously an injury must have occurred. I don't know what actually happened to him, but it must have been.
It was a hamstring. He went down against Notts County, and it's funny because one of our second podcast was called "Kiss My Hammy," because my mate Steve, who normally comes on and does the podcast with us, had been to the game, and I watched it on telly because I couldn't get in the week, and we had a little episode we did afterwards. I spoke to him on the phone straight after the game. We recorded it,
Yeah,
and that was our second episode. And I said, "Oh, I think it was his hamstring because when Dave Moore ran on with the cold sponge," he said, I lip read him, and it looked like he said, "It's me hammy." And Steve thought I said, "Kiss me hammy," and that became the title of the episode. And we both agreed that Dave Moore was definitely not into that kind of treatment
yeah,
for hamstring injuries. So yeah, it's hamstring, and that's always going to be a good bit of time out, isn't it? Hamstrings
yeah.
for footballers, it's always what 4 or 5 weeks minimum.
Yeah, well,
And
it's probably it's the main one of the main muscle groups in it they use. It's not something you can just shake off, is it? If it's
no,
if it's a fully,
it
it's
hurts
not.
like hell, and it don't repair very
Yeah,
easily, and it's goes quickly if it's under strength, doesn't it? So yeah, Davis he'd scored a couple of goals in that Cheltenham game, hadn't he, the day or two before, and then that was
yeah.
the game afterwards was the one he went out in.
A couple. You look at that, and that was when I thought, oh yeah, he's going to be
Mm,
good. I knew he was a good player.
yeah,
Obviously, it's okay being good within a team, but then to do it to come to another club,
yeah,
uh, you don't know anyone. You come to a new club. Is he going to mix in well? I thought he
yeah,
started really well. It was just a shame, but yeah, it's good to have him back to scoring.
yeah,
Obviously, it's a positive to take away from the game. We've got some good players, Tam. We need to
yeah,
keep them.
yeah,
And like I said before, I like what Artel's doing. I like what his intentions are, and
yeah,
sometimes we look absolutely brilliant, but
yeah.
then other times it's go a bit go to sleep on the game maybe a little bit,
Yeah,
which
and
is
I think David Artell's picked up on that and said that he thinks it's a mentality thing now that they've got to believe they can do it. Um,
yeah,
in his aftermatch yesterday, he was talking about you go out and they kind of questioning are they as good as this team that they're playing against, and
yeah.
yeah, and he says that's kind of the next stage of the development, which is a positive place to be. I mean, we've won a lot more games than we've done last year already, haven't we?
Well, he's not delusional. That's the best thing about him. I like. He's not. He's not. He knows where they're going wrong,
Yeah,
and he's telling them that this is where we're going wrong, and they're trying to work on the places what they're not
yeah,
the strongest in. You can't really. As obviously being a manager, it's an hard job. It's like being a referee in a football match, and it's a very, very hard job.
yeah, yeah,
They get the blame before there's 11 players on the pitch, and the manager gets the blame before any of them do.
yeah,
Sometimes,
yeah,
uh,
exactly. Yeah, yeah. And I think
and
you can see he's
job.
improved us, can't you?
I do, and I think he's definitely got potential for us going forward in the future for our upcoming games in the rest of the season. I think a playoffs isn't a million miles away. You win, we win 2 on the bounce now, 3 on the bounce. You're well up there again.
Yeah, in a league where anybody can beat anybody,
It really is.
2 or 3 games, you can leap loads of spaces, can't you? And we're only 6 points
Well,
behind third.
yeah, that's just how it is. You need two or three wins, and you're well in the playoffs again. And then everyone's hopes go up that we're going to win League Two.
And then, and you've just touched on a point that we spoke off about off camera earlier on. That as town fans, we do get quite high when we're high, and we do get quite despondent when we're despondent, and you can tell during a game.
Oh, definitely, definitely.
Yeah,
I've sat down in my seat in the lower finders, and before the game, we go, here we go. He's going to be the garbage again this week, and
mm,
they say it a lot. Yeah, that's putting it in a nice way, like. But yeah,
yeah,
it is quite funny.
yeah. We have to laugh at ourselves, but when we're on
Oh,
fire, we can get behind them like nothing else. That Port Vale game was hell of an
yeah,
atmosphere, and we got the atmosphere going a little bit at times yesterday. Sometimes as a result of what the team were doing, and sometimes as a result of what the ref was doing.
yeah. The referee, yeah, they don't have to take a bit of stick to the rest.
Yeah, yeah,
I think it's expected, isn't
yeah. I
it?
mean, yesterday that ref, the second goal of the game, the equaliser, uh, looked like it come from we just not conceded a Dobra's sitter that he missed.
Yeah,
Then I think the Mandeville was the other guy had a shot and it went wide of the post. It skimmed the post on the way past him. It diverted a bit and the ref gave a corner. Nobody behind the
yeah.
goal saw it as a corner, and that's when he started getting a lot of stick because they scored from that corner. And
I think it was well deserved, to be honest. The stick that he did get.
yeah,
Um, I don't know what kind of abuse was thrown at him, but
the thing is, I mean,
can't find it well
we
deserved.
just seem to be. We need to. I think that, again, it's something Artel said in the aftermatch yesterday. the standard for a penalty for us is like GBH.
Yeah, yeah.
Anybody else, there seems to be really soft penalties like the one
Oh,
at
it really.
Accrington, the one at Bradford was soft. The one at Swindon, you could argue either way on whether you agree with the handball rules or not. But yeah, we do seem to cop our fair share of crap refs. There's only one I can remember that was any good, and he was actually so good he was bad because he was biased towards us, and that was at Tranmere away.
Yeah,
So that was the only one, the only one I've
yeah,
seen for a long time. So
yeah. That was. You get it a lot. It's an hard job in it, especially in League Two. They haven't got a VAR, and to be honest, I've never really liked the system. To be honest,
yeah,
especially when you go watch a Prem game, you don't know when to celebrate. You don't, is it going to
no.
be a goal? Is it not? I don't like VAR at all.
It sucks. One of the things about football is you don't get many goals. It's not like rugby or where you've got like 39, 42 or whatever. Like rugby league, points every few minutes. It's that
Yeah.
one moment of magic in a game where
Now you
this
have to wait to see if it's
yeah,
the
the
clip or not.
spontaneity is the king of it. The rush of scoring the goal, and that's totally removed with VAR.
I
So
mean, if you took it back years ago, Maradona would have never got away with
he'd
that
have been
handball, would he?
disgraced.
But
Yeah. At the
that's
World Cup after that, I think he got sent home, didn't he, for drugs? But that's another matter. Yeah,
you know what? I
one of
actually
the best.
went back though and watched. I have actually watched that World Cup, and when you take away that hand of God,
Yeah.
I mean, what an absolute player he was.
If you had any doubt about it, that game, the other goal he scored was just unbelievable, wasn't it?
I mean, even in that full tournament, the absolutely unbelievable player, and
Yeah, yeah.
just a shame that he,
Low central gravity, ball stuck to his foot. What more could
yeah,
you want? Hand of God.
unbelievable player he was.
Yeah, yeah. So, yeah, good. Nearly 2 decades of following the Mariners. Then you're still as strong a fan as ever, as I can tell from your walk on music, your colours that you
Yeah,
walk in the ring on. The fact that we met at the club, and you were a guest, and you were interviewed in the lounge before the crew game. How did that come about?
I was more nervous for that than I was for anything. Yeah, the club get in touch, now and again, and say, "Oh, do you want to go in the lounge and enjoy some nice food and stuff?" And he might even pull you up, and yeah, he pulled us up, didn't he?
So thank you very much for coming today. How are you? Yeah, I feel really good. Yeah, recovering from last Saturday. Yeah, I feel really good. Hopefully the boys can do the business today. Okay, so you recently took part in the Commonwealth title eliminator fight. Bit unlucky not to win. Tell us about the fight. Yeah, it went really well. Me and my team forward did enough to get me on raised at the end, but he got given his draw. But he sets up a massive 2025 because there's a rematch on the line. I can't ask too much yet, but there's a big title in the talks and the rematch in a big arena, so yeah, I'll be out in the next couple of weeks. So that'll be next year, will it? Yeah, 2025.
Yeah, he pulled us up, didn't he?
You did well.
But yeah, it is always nice to go in there. There's always some great people in there. You meet a lot of nice people,
Yeah.
and you know what? You gain support all the time. I mean, a lot of things from town that I've got over the years, I've supported them a lot more over the last 4 or 5 years than I did prior. The support's grown for me as well.
Yeah.
There's a lot of fans come to and they make an atmosphere at my fights, and they don't
Yeah.
cause any trouble. There's an atmosphere. It's absolutely brilliant. I can't. There's no, there aren't really any negatives about it.
And that's what we're saying about community, and it is we are one, aren't we? And
This is why we
you know,
get behind the town
yeah, we
in
are,
itself.
and we want that good stuff, all the good stuff
Yeah,
of town to come to the top.
yeah, 100%, Dave. You're
Yeah,
right.
and that's the reason why I was really pleased that when we met you at that particular day at the club, that it was a great opportunity to get you come and talk to us, and hopefully
Yeah.
you can let more people know about how you're going on, and like I say, hopefully you'll come back on and be a bit of a friend of the show and keep us posted on how you're getting on.
Oh,
So after talking to Levi about yesterday's draw against Chesterfield, we went on to talk about his boxing career.
yeah, of course I will. And then I went down to the boxing gym, Grimsby ABC. I'm still at the set. I'm still with Grimsby ABC now. I've been very loyal to Dave Rayworth over the years. Yeah, my dad took me down on the bus actually, drove me down to the fish docks where Grimsby ABC was based, and I missed the first session. I was late.
Oh no!
The beginning. I'll never forget it. The beginner session was coming to an end. We went an hour late. So my dad went, well, we've come all this way. Do you want to just watch the next session? Like I spoke to Dave and said, yeah, we'll watch the next session. And I looked at them, thought, oh, I'd love to train with them lot. And then when I went back the following week and kick started properly from age 8, I was nearly 9 at the time, because it's been 20 years this year I've been involved in the sport. I just loved it, mate. The first day I went into a boxing gym, it was just the people. You tell you what, over the years, it's the place where you've got thugs, you've got criminals mixing with police officers. You've got every single ethnic backgrounds. You've got every single
all life is there.
Christianity and Muslims and everyone mixing together, mate. And it's just no matter what you go into a boxing gym for, you always feel better when you leave it.
Yeah.
Definitely, I'd always recommend boxing to anyone. Not just to go in. I mean, it's not a place where I think people think you're going to go there and they're going to throw you straight in a boxing ring, and you're going to get punched. It's not like that at all. But yeah, I definitely recommend it to anyone, to be honest, for fitness, for whatever it may be. It's just a place where
there's a lot of discipline involved, isn't there, in the art.
Really is. And that's where it all sprung from, mate. I did 54 amateur fights under ABC. I just had a 50-50 record. I won a couple of amateur titles. I boxed some very, very talented kids in the amateurs. I trained as hard as I could, all the way through school. I missed a lot. I missed a lot of things. I missed a lot of things in the professional game, but like prom and stuff like that. I fought on the night of prom and out with your mates. And at the time, you think you're really missing out, but you're not really missing out. It's something you can do later on. It's not you're not missing out at all, but you do have to sacrifice a lot when you put 100% into it. And then obviously when I turned over, things obviously changed again, and you have to put even more into it, because you realize, and this is just in boxing, for a lot of people that listen, it's like no matter what you put into something, you're going to get out of it. So you put 100% into a business, you're going to get 100% out. And I can see why you've got like it's like owning your own business. Being a professional boxer is because you're your own boss. You've got to put 100% in. You've got to put the effort in. You've got to do everything right and cut no corners, because them 3-minute rounds can be a very long place for someone, and give the 100% to the sport. And over the years, mate, when I set out to when I turned pro, I thought, what, I just want to box for a title. I want TV, and I never thought I was really good enough. My confidence wasn't really that great, to be honest. I just thought, if I can box for a title as a pro, I'm happy. And then when I started sparring like Josh Warrington and Max Hughes and these world champions, very, very good kids, and going to all these different gyms, I thought, I'm getting a lot better at
this. Yeah. And Matty Teague must have seen something in you that's have you ever thought? You don't just say, have you ever thought about going pro to somebody who can't box well?
No, I was training with the lads at the time, putting the effort in, and I was just chasing, in the gym, and then you sort of become in the main spot, and it's like, wow, now I've got the lads doing it to me in the gym. We've got a couple of pros in the gym, and they're like chasing me all the time now, and it's good. It is. We're all pushing each other on. The town's booming at the minute in, like you say before, not just the football. You've got your boxing. You've got a lot of MMA fighters. You've got karate kids, and you've got a lot of things going on in the town that are quite low key, what people don't know about, but there is some really good talent coming through all over, all over.
And that's really positive to hear, isn't it? And that's what we're saying about there's so much going on in the town that's good that you don't realise sometimes.
No, you don't, because it gets overwritten by some of the bad stuff, and people grim in Grimsby, and it's not a bad place at all. There's a lot worse places out there, definitely.
Yeah, absolutely. So your first 13 fights, you won every single one of them, and you've sort of travelled a bit further afield to Hull, Doncaster, Scunny, Sheffield, and Bolton. Was that Bolton one at the stadium? Is that the hotel at the stadium? I've stayed there. Yeah.
We was late. We was boxing all over. I was very active, even in the COVID. We had to keep training because at that point no one knew what was going to happen, did we? It was such a shock. And I was meant to box for a Midlands title, actually. And true story as well. We've tried getting the Midlands title. I think Carl's tried 7 times with 7 different. 7 times events we've had booked, and then I think there's been about 10 opponents, and it was a case of, look, we can't that's what, all I wanted to do was win a title.
Yeah.
We couldn't get the Midlands title, so then obviously the fight come about with Michael Gomez in Manchester. I took that. It was, to be honest with you, looking back now, at the time I thought, I might not never get this chance again, so we've got to take the fight. But I had to lose a hell of a lot of weight, and in not a lot of time to do it. Also, even though I thought I won the fight, and so did a lot of other people, I didn't. That wasn't the best me in there that night. Which I was disappointed that I lost, but I want to disappointed how I performed, because we only had 5 weeks to go. We couldn't really do much sparring. The preparation didn't go it didn't go that great, but I still got in, and we thought we did enough to get the win, but it wasn't meant to be, and you just push on and carry on. Like with your football, you can't really get too highs on your wins, and you can't get too lows on your losses, because at the end of the day, we're in there because we want to be in there, and it's just enjoying the moment.
And there's only, out of any football match, there's only one team that can win if somebody loses, isn't there? And it's the same in boxing.
Exactly.
And when you fought Michael Gomez, I mean, he had a hell of a record, didn't he, going into that fight?
Yeah, but I didn't really look. I've never been one to look into opponents and stuff like that. I obviously I knew who his dad was, because I'm a big boxing fan. As well as being a professional myself, I'm a big boxing fan. I've watched it for a long time, so I know quite a lot about the sport, and I know different boxers from all over the years. I've seen fighters from your 1930s onwards. Like, I know quite a lot on the sport. So yeah, I knew who his dad was. I never really knew who he was going into the fight. I just knew. I watched one fight of his, which I never normally do, but I watched him against Brian Phillips, a Liverpudlian, and I could see from that fight he does one thing and one thing only. So I knew what he was going to bring. It wasn't a massive shock to me, when we got in there. And I thought I did enough that night, but it was great. It was great exposure. It was my first fight on TV. It was for an English title. It ticked all the boxes, and that loss kind of boosted us up massively. I had so many messages. The followers went up. The support went up, and it just kind of leveled up overnight, really, with that fight.
Yeah, that was a hell of a fight to get, and to get to the point where you think you've done enough. You've got to be proud of yourself for that, haven't you? Yeah,
definitely. Yeah, it's. I mean, at the point I'm at now, I've fought better than him, but it was a stepping stone towards where I know I can get to.
Yeah. Was that the fight that did he push you over at the weigh-in? What was all about? It's a bit. It looked really pathetic. On his part, it looked really pathetic.
Even to this day, because I had all kind of people asking me what was the beef and stuff, and I said, mate, I honestly don't know. I never spoke to him in my life. I don't know who he was. I didn't never meet him. I never knew him. Didn't know him in the amateurs. Never met him in my life. So to me, it was like, well, what are you doing? Control yourself. It's the professional boxing. It's not what you're doing. I wasn't expecting it, and to be honest, I was. Oh man, I had to cut like 2 stone. It's not unknown now, but I lost 2 stone in 5.5 weeks.
Yeah,
it was a hell of a lot of weight to lose in 5.5 weeks.
It's probably all right for somebody like me to lose that in that time, but not somebody your size.
I was getting down to 9 stone 4. I made the weight, even coming a bit under, but it was just a terrible camp. It was, but looking back, I thought, you know what, I'm not going to get this chance again, even though I probably would have. But at the time, you think I'm not going to get the chance again, so I have to take it. And we did. And it's all learning curves. You're learning every day, and it was just another one to think, I won't do that again. I won't go as heavy as I did then. So it was all learning and a new experience for me.
And I think the bit beforehand with all the nonsense, I've never seen anybody go down under unexpected fire and get up so coolly. He was like, "What's all this about?" It was really.
I said, what a clown. I shook my head, and it's professional boxing. You have to stay professional. It's not the most nervous dog barks the loudest, done it.
Yeah. You clearly gave him giving him the feeling that he needed to do something beforehand. And then you got back on the winning trail back in the town. And some good fights against, is it Bershuk and Najib?
Yeah, two very tough opponents. I mean, when I after the Gomez fight, I wanted to stay active again. I said to my manager, and he said, I said, here's one. How about we do how about we bring boxing back to Grimsby? And I said, yeah, I'd love to bring boxing back to Grimsby. Let's get it done. He said, right, let's get you an opponent, a 50-50, with wins and losses. He's had a couple of good wins. He's lost a couple towards his career now. It's just get you back out there against someone that was tough. We picked up a good stoppage there, and then it come about to box for a Commonwealth silver title, which was very proud because at this bit now I'm thinking, right, it's on Fight Zone. I've got a Commonwealth title fight against someone that's very good, very very durable opponent. He'd never been stopped, and I've seen him box. I thought, he's a bit of a banana skin. It's a good fight, but it's going to be very entertaining for the fans. It's ticking every box that I always wanted to do. It's even better than the titles I wanted to win. It's pushing on towards a Commonwealth title, and it went fantastic. We sold the place out, and it just shows what we can do as a town. Like, not just in the football, the town gets behind the sportsmen. They really do, and everyone loved it that night. It was it was a great back to back.
Great atmosphere, and you've that was in June and November. That'd be 23, would it?
Yeah.
And then that led on to you fighting the following summer, or the start of the summer, at the Copper Box.
So it was a strange one actually, because the back end of that year, I started the year terribly. Like this time last year, I had an accident, and I broke 3 ribs at the back. Right, it was actually about 2 centimeters off the spinal cord. I was out for weeks and weeks. It was a terrible time. I had to pull out of a fight, which I've never done in my life, for obvious reasons. I messaged the opponent and I said, "Look, mate, I'm having to pull out. I broke 3 ribs. It's not, it's a legit pull out. It's not, I've never pulled out of a fight ever in my life, so it's not something I'd do. But yeah, I'm going to message you now and let you know I've had to pull." And then we moved on. We got another fight date when I went back into the gym. We got another fight date, which was meant to be against Conor McIntosh. So I entered camp, was about 7 weeks away. So I was back training. And then we got a phone call and they said, "Do you want to box Reece Bellotti at the Copper Box in 5.5 weeks?" And I said, "Yeah, So I was already training anyway. I wasn't in camp very long. I think I was in camp about a week. But, on paper, I took a fight on 5.5 weeks' notice. They offered Gomez the fight. He didn't want it. So I was second in command for the job. With me being in the final eliminator and winning the Commonwealth silver, it put me in line for the Commonwealth anyway. And Reece had both belts. But yeah, it was a funny old fight, because when like I say, I'm a big fan. And when I used to watch Reece at his featherweight days, I used to look and think, wow, he's really good. Good fighter from London. I enjoyed watching him. And then when it come about that you get to fight him, I thought, definitely. I was going into this fight with nothing to lose. It was everything to gain and nothing to lose. And I lost the fight. I'm very honest. It was a great night, another good atmosphere. I went to, I got to, in the build up, I went to Eddie Hearn's house and meeting some big stars.
You got the full treatment, and you got the full treatment and the experience.
Definitely, and we held our own in there. A lot of people thought that he was just going to come in and bang me out, but we knew that wasn't going to be the case. And I learned so much from that fight. If anything, I learned more from that one fight than I did in many others. And yeah, full credit to Reece. He's a very good lad, a nice fella as well. And yeah, I wish him all the best against Gomez. They fight in February the 1st. I think might be a couple of weeks away now, actually. Or whenever that Saturday is. If it is, a first, it's a Saturday or first, maybe. I'm not too sure.
I think it is,
But they fight then. So hopefully he does the job there, which I think I think he will do.
Excellent. And then your most recent fight was the one just was it just before Christmas, December?
Yeah,
against Ashfaq.
Yeah, a former Olympian. yeah, he's had, Ashback's had plenty of loads and loads of amateur fights, loads of wins. We knew he was going in there with a tricky opponent.
Yeah.
A good fight, was back on the zone. Great, we sold a lot of tickets for Sheffield. We sold a lot of tickets. It was great. The support was fantastic down there. It was a real, Yorkshire and Midlands. It was a good fight. I thought I won the fight. I'm not gonna, I'm very honest. I always have been in my boxing days, amateur and pro. If I think I lost a fight, I'm the first to put my hand up and say I thought I lost. But I thought I won that fight by. I thought I won it by a couple of rounds, maybe a round, especially with the knockdown in round one. I thought it was. I didn't really feel I won. I was the one setting the pace. I was going forward. I was the aggressor. But I think it might have been one of them fights. The referee obviously couldn't split it and he scored it a draw. But maybe it was one of them fights of what you prefer. Do you prefer the back foot boxing or do you prefer the aggressing?
Yeah.
So I couldn't argue with it. Once a decision's set, it's set in stone. And it was a good fight, and it was hopefully setting us up for a rematch. But I hadn't heard anything on it. I think he's moved. I think from what I've heard, I think he's moving down in weight to featherweight, which is a more natural weight for him. So I understand that. I was quite a lot bigger in the ring.
Yeah.
I felt a lot bigger in there. So I do understand why he'll be moving to featherweight. And I've sat down with my team over the last couple of weeks, so it's a bit of an announcement, really. But
right, exclusive on the Three Fish.
We're going to be moving to lightweight. So
right.
I'm going to go weight. Yeah, I feel like it's a lot more. It'll be a lot more comfortable for me making the weight and a lot more enjoyable because super feather was. It was tight. It was quite hard to make the weight. I'm not. The older you get, and and you're taking a lot out of your system, a lot out of your body each time. It gets harder and harder. And I think that my unless a big fight comes up, if the Ashfaq rematch was to come up, which I would like, or another big fight, it would have to be a title fight for something quite big. And I can't see my days at super featherweight existing anymore. So we've decided that we're going to campaign at lightweight from now on.
So what are the limits for the super feather and the light? What are the weight categories?
So to make super featherweight, it's £130, which is 9 stone 4.
Right.
And lightweight's 9 stone 9. So you've got £5.
There's not a lot then. But it must seem like a lot to you guys.
Yeah, it is a lot when you're like you're 4% body fat, you're very low on weight. Then £5 will. I think I'll be performing a lot better.
Yeah, and that'll give you an extra boost of confidence. So, do we know what's next then? Are we anywhere close to knowing what's happening?
Yeah, so it's like a double announcement. March 22nd, I'm going to be fighting on my manager's show because, like I said, I need to stay active. I did actually accept a fight with Aqib Fiaz on the Matchroom show, but they chose someone else, so they didn't want the fight. And yeah, as it stands, I'm going to be boxing because I've heard nothing. We're open to offers. We've tried offering fights and stuff, but nothing's come through. But I'm going to be boxing March 22nd, making my lightweight debut at Newark Showground.
Excellent. Sounds exciting. It's going to be come around quickly, that, isn't it? It's what we're nearly the mid to late January now. It's only a couple of months away. So when do you get into training? When's camp start on that?
So I've already started training. I tick over all the time anyway, so I've been in the gym. But yeah, I'm speak to my nutritionist, and we'll probably start because it's making a new weight. You want to do it as comfortably as possible. It's going to be. I'll probably start the full camp 8 weeks out, dieting wise. So I've got another week yet. I think it was 9 weeks yesterday actually, the fights. So from next Saturday, that'll be the point where I go into full camp then and see how we get on at making the lightweight limit, get an opponent, hopefully confirm an opponent, and then go from there and start getting in line for some big titles at lightweight.
Brilliant. So that's exciting news. Thanks for sharing that with us. I was hoping, because I know when we met at Blundell Park, you said you couldn't announce anything yet. So the fact that you've now got a date and got something that's
all good.
That's excellent.
It's funny actually because the my manager's just popped up not long ago with a poster. So yeah, that can be. I'll be sharing that soon as well.
Excellent. Yeah, share it with us, and we'll send us a copy online, and we'll share it on our pages as well.
Yes, mate,
Rally some local support. No,
definitely.
that's really exciting news, and say thank you for sharing that with us. So,
No, no problem at all.
training is a big part of what you do day in day out
Yeah,
when not fighting. What's that regime like? In summarising it up, sort of for
like a day
somebody,
in life.
somebody who doesn't know
So,
about what boxers do to train, because it's a lot of sacrifice, isn't there?
yeah, you do. There's a lot of time, and it's not just. I'm not at a point where I can like just afford to give a day job up. So I work on an oil refinery as well. So it's and I'm in the scaffolding game. It's tough. I wake up at 5 in the morning. Um, I wake up. I'll do my first session at the gym. Bit of fat burning in the morning. It'll be like 6 till 7. I get a shower. I go to work. I'll do my 9 hours at work, and then from there I'll go back to the gym and do a boxing session. And then you go home, and then obviously I've got family as well.
Yeah.
So it's like you're constant. You're quite. It's like 24/7 really.
You get you've got a lot of support from your family then to allow that all to happen. They're all behind you.
Yeah, I mean that's a massive part. You can't have it's like a jigsaw puzzle really with a team, and it's quite. I've got a compact team. It's a small circle I've got, and we all support each other, and each person's like a piece of the puzzle that put together, and we work really well, and it has to be like that, because if not, it'd be very very difficult to do, make them sacrifices and be able to go through what you want to do. So that's another thing. I always say to people, make sure your circle's right, especially just even in life. Make sure the people you're hanging around with and stuff like that are, if you hang around with six losers, you're the seventh loser. That's just how life is. If you hang around with six winners, then you're going to be the seventh winner. That's just how it is.
Yeah, and clearly you've taken that through your career to get you to where you are now, and that's
Yeah. Oh,
very important.
definitely.
Yeah, yeah. Who would you say has been the greatest influence on your career so far?
You know what? Like around me, the coaches I've got, other than Andrew Blackett, I've been with Andy a long, long time, and I've been with Matty Teague a long, long time. Other than just boxing, like outside, it's not. It's like they've helped me so much in not just inside the ring. I mean, inside the ring, but they put as much time as I do. It's like I'm like a little brother to them, really.
Yeah.
And if you spoke to them, hopefully they say the same thing.
But not an annoying little brother.
Big brothers to me, mate. Yeah, and for what they've done and that for me, and things they've showed me in life as well. Like mostly 80% of what they've showed me in life and taught me, in all kind of fields. It's been them two are like your biggest.
Yeah, that's great.
Even and the things that things that have said, advice they've given and stuff like that. It goes a long, long way.
It fits in with your surround yourself with the right people, the winners, doesn't it?
100%, definitely.
What about boxing? Which boxers influenced you most, or you look up to most? You say you're quite a scholar of the game.
Yeah, it's so there's quite a few. But growing up from a young lad, was Ricky Hatton. Like watching it, in his prime, waking up early morning to watch him in Vegas, and I mean, what a man! Definitely not on his diet side, but inside the ring and the person he actually is, and especially meeting him as well. He's such a good man. He's very humble, and what a fighter he was, and for British boxing. The likes of him and Josh Warrington and stuff, and especially with Josh, because of what Josh has done with winning titles, 2-time world champion, and he's such an humble guy, and you just learn so much from these kind of people, especially when you share a ring with Josh. People like that, they're just normal people, and it's it's good. It's good to look up to and spy your idols, and it's good. You learn so much from them. It's I don't think they even realise how much you learn and take away from it. Really,
that's excellent. Josh Warrington's had one hell of a career, hasn't he himself?
Unbelievable. The Leeds Warrior. I think from an interview I see the other day, he's still wanting to go on and have another fight. I think he might have one or two more in him. I don't know how he feels in himself, but obviously he must feel good if he wants to come back and have another crack. So yeah. But what he's done and achieved already, it's unbelievable.
Yeah, and say you've been in there with him, and you say stuff rubs off, doesn't it? At the end of the day.
Oh, definitely. I've sparred a lot with Josh, and you just learn so much from it because just see how they do things, and it's questions that people ask me, but then I'm asking them the same thing. How do you do this? And it's just little percentages, and it all adds up.
Yeah, one of the things that amuses me most about is a Leeds lad, and Leeds hate my rugby league team, which is Warrington, and it's amazing to hear the Leeds fans chanting for Warrington for once.
Yeah,
when he's boxing, just amuses me that it's a daft thing.
I don't think he's like anyone, brother.
Not outside of Leeds, no. So, Levi, on the boxing side, we've covered your career. We're massively impressed and proud of you as a local, one of our own, as we say.
Thank you, mate.
And it's been great talking to you. I hope you'll come back and tell us a bit about your how you're getting on from time to time. Friend of the show and all that.
Yeah, definitely, Dave. I thank you very much for having me, mate. See where we are towards the end of the season, eh?
Yeah, definitely. And look forward to seeing how things go for March 22nd.
Thank you, mate. I'll keep you updated and posted anyway.
Yeah. Cheers, buddy. All the best.
Thanks, mate. See you soon, buddy.
This is TNT Sports' Adam Summerton, and you're listening to Three Fish on the Shirt.
Thank you for watching or listening to tonight's show. You can catch us on YouTube, podcasts on Podbean or Apple Podcasts. You can also find us on our social media channels of Instagram, Twitter, or X as it's now known, TikTok and Facebook. Please like, subscribe and share at every opportunity. It helps us a lot.